So, haha, let's go then. You guys can hear the sound already. Let me turn off the background sound. It's too much. Okay, it is gonna immediately give the cutscene, I think. Weird wave starting. Yeah, I did the Welkin and then it was like boom, cutscene, and I'm like, no. Yeah, there we go. Oh,
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
we never got into the story this quickly before. No, we're on the schedule. We have to go. Now I can talk. Okay, now we can just we going. We have, yeah, no. This is the start of Interlude, I'm assuming. I freaked out. I was like, no, no. And I immediately closed the game. And I was like, I hope it's like, but yeah. Because you all told me that that if I stop, like exit the game during a cutscene, it should start. Dana today. I'm speed. Yeah. Let's give them a Dana they're not used to. But I'm assuming this is Interlude. The start of the Interlude chapter. Look at that. He's not writing a thriller here, you know. It's supposed to be an essay. Because if you will do both quests today, it will be Fontaine time on Sunday. Will it? No. We have the alchemy event, right? It will. I'm not ready to leave Sumeru yet. I'm not ready yet. I felt like I sped through Sumeru and now I feel bad. I took my time a lot more in all the other things. Alchemy event is so fun. Really. That reminds me. I was wondering like a couple of days ago. Well, a couple of days ago, not really. Yesterday. With my friend Meryl. We were talking about like, because she asked if you could make your own character in Genshin. I was like no. And then she was like, man, I wonder how your character in Genshin would be. So I was like, huh, true. Where would that be? Like, where would I be from? And what would my vision be? I have no clue. I find it difficult. Let me know what you guys think. Stipe, I am live. On time, too. I saw the picture you posted in Discord. It's hilarious. I feel bad. That's so funny. Feather Farm has been closed for years now. But we are playing. I feel bad for zooming through. If it will be on Sunday, it will be a day before I will have to go back to work, so I won't miss the beginning. Okay. I feel so incredibly nostalgic. I bet. Man, we played that quite often, I feel. That was fun. That was really fun. Good old days. But yeah, if you all like, I don't know. I feel I would be from Fontaine or Mondstadt because I'm European. That makes more sense. By the way, you're not zooming. You're playing normally. Just focus on the story. Yeah. I know the reason why I feel like I'm zooming is I feel like I took a way longer time for the rest. But that is because I was leveling up my characters as well. And especially at the start, you're like locked behind an adventure rank. And now my adventure rank is like super high, so yeah. Okay. he needs facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
I have no clue what's going on. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
He doesn't look like he's from Sumeru.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
That's not an essay then.
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma. Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Still, let's go listen in.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it is the interlude chapter. Okay. Okay. No! The flowers broke my fall. Ah, yeah. I leveled her up. I ascended her and I leveled her up, but now I need more stuff, and I... This thing is so annoying to get. And I couldn't find any mushrooms. I followed the interactive map and they weren't there. They were like, there's supposed to be like 4 mushrooms here. Where are they? Don't use pyro or electro. Oh. Well. Ain't that nice? Basically both my deeps. Okay. Well, I'll need other people's help then. But yeah, I ascended her once. Yep. What else did I do? Right. I really felt like I needed to do something for Ito because he took way too much of my resources, so I got him a weapon that I read would be good for him. I don't know if it would, but that's what I gave him. So, yeah. That's everything I did yesterday. Yeah, that works, yeah. It was literally the only one that I was like, oh, that one I can get. I don't know what to give Gaming. So, but that was it. And then the cutscene started, and I was like, I have to stop playing. Cutscene.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Hello. You called? Looking for me?
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Ask anybody.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
If you don't believe me, I'll go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Examining the evidence.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Ah, I see.
Sorry, I can't help this time.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
Isn't Tatarasuna like the Misty Island, or am I like complete? I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything to embarrass myself. They don't touch grass except the grass growing in the tree. I love how like people like tell gamers to go read a book, but like even the people that read a book don't touch grass here. So like,
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
as if that isn't okay.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
Ito. No.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Damn, is it a murder mystery?
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Damn.
Stop shouting!
He's just excited, Paimon.
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out.
Okay, you made your point.
It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in the story now?
I have no clue what's happening.
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith
Yes,
clans
no, yes.
of Inazuma?
Yes.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Like with Kazuha, that whole quest line that we did.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
Oh.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more?
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get you like...
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
Yes.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
What?
A puppet?
Was it Scaramouche? The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. The Kabukimono has to be the balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Glare at Paimon and hope she keeps her mouth shut.
No. Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Okay. Extract 1. A man arrived in Tatarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads towards the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. Sorry. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. Do my eyes deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you. Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. Why, Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ships, rode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news? There was some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the path's end. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now, the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too, then, was the Flame Watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. Jesus Christ. The workshop was huge and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the Watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the Watcher turn. The Watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatarasuna. Born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art, Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Oh, I think I will go make food. Okay, yeah, the weather was also really nice with us. The sun was shining, it was really warm. I didn't check the temperature, but it probably was around the same. Anyway, let's read this, the Isle of Darkling Clouds. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression and said, "It is as you have said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan, yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. We should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Kaidahara says yay or nay. Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, "Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss." Hello, fellow Diluc puller. Free, please don't. Don't. I'm still traumatized. Anyway. Niwa smiled, replying, "And how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Katsuragi?" Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his 2 friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so groused, "I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you." Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa realized the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. Released, sorry. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round and, in the light of the fires, looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some boxed food at the side and, nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, "Very well, I'll try it." "You're welcome to the food. We all eat the same fare, after all," Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Do you remember the Poi Poi song? We can now do a Dory Dory song. I don't. You're so mean. That's like a second. I do sometimes think about the Poi Poi song. I've not looked it up, but I think about it, together with the other ones. That was very painful. Not one Goru. Also, it took me 79 pulls to get Ito. That's the highest amount that I've ever had with pulling. So not only did I like lose my 50-50 to D-Luke, I also struggled to even get Ito. Though I guess I shouldn't complain because at least it wasn't 90. That would have been worse. Oh, I so dislike Dory now anyway. The Kabukimono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roil, rumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the Kabukimono. With knees bent and face pointed towards the waters, none passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. My god. I wish I had my AI. I would just let her read it. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabukimono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood this cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath failing sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he exclaimed, "It is but dusk. How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabukimono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop it landed at the Kabukimono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. Out of the arm? What? No, I'm still reading, Hira. I apologize. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabukimono stared at it blankly like an awakened dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabukimono. This is the last bit, I think, I swear. I don't have to read it, but like, am I a real streamer if I don't read it? Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him. And much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look." Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke them, his words heavy laden. "I wish not to say such words." Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return. Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad, stiff shoulders beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarasuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now in drips and drabs. That was why they had to set out to seek aid. I am... Honestly, I am not even remembering what I'm reading. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then, traveling from Tatarasuna to Inazuma to ask for support, was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth, till the Kabukimono himself had departed upon the tides, under foul skies and ominous fortunes. It has been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tatarasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone and none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew even more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. For a moment they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. "Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps?" Nagamasa bellowed in fury. "You dare address Sir Niwa directly?" Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach but not beyond sight, a ghastly apparition indeed. "Was it you who slew my people?" Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities born from an imagination well utilized. Essaying. Hi, Gretlin. Yeah, I decided to read the whole thing. I don't know if it was worth it, but...
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
No! Oh...